Because when you buy local, you're not an alcoholic, you're supporting small business. G'day cocktail lovers, I hope you've been keeping well. I hope you're ready for another cocktail. Now I want to talk about the inspiration for this one. I don't know about you, but for me, cocktail inspiration can come from many different areas. This one came from, I have a couple of bottles that are almost empty and I need some shelf space. Because I'll be honest, last couple of weeks, I've gone a bit wild with the bottle buying. I started off buying one or two, like, oh, I finished a bottle, I'll replace it with something. And then it's like, oh, look at that other stuff on the shelf. And I bought so much in the last 2 weeks. I need shelf space, and oh, there's a couple of bottles that are almost over. I need to finish them. So I went on the Difford's Guide website and just said, I have a little bit of cognac and a little bit of apricot liqueur. What cocktails do you have that have cognac and apricot liqueur in? And it threw up a few options, and I found one called an Incognito, and it's an interesting looking cocktail. It's essentially using a martini model for it, but with different ingredients than you'd normally get. And I think I'm going to give it a go. It looks interesting. And it's also going to use up the little bit that's in a couple of bottles I have. So let's go with an Incognito. First up, I'm going to finish this interesting shaped bottle of cognac from the Kirkland region of France. My good old Costco XO cognac. It is actually pretty good, but it's 45 mils. This recipe is 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of cognac, or just brandy if that's what you've got. Next up is another interesting shaped bottle. I'm going to use the last of this apricot liqueur from Croatia, of all places. I'm going to go 1 ounce, 30 mils of apricot liqueur. I said this recipe was influenced by the martini formula. It's got dry vermouth, so the gin has been replaced with those other spirits that I put in before. But I'm going to add 45 mils or 1.5 ounces of dry vermouth. Finally, and this is a little bit interesting, 3 dashes of Angostura bitters. I didn't try this recipe ahead of time, so it's going to be quite an adventure trying it. So I'm going to add now 3 dashes of Angostura bitters. Now, according to the Difford's Guide website, I shake this cocktail, which is slightly surprising to me because there's no citrus in it, but I'm just going to follow that guide anyway, adding ice to the shaker, put it together, bang it in hard. I'm going to shake that for about 10 seconds. I've been chilling a coupe and I'm going to strain the drink in now. There we go. That's a nice wash line. It's a very nice orange colour. It's a nice looking drink. I suppose you could garnish this if you want with a bit of fruit. I'm going to keep it simple and I'm just going to try it here. Wow, that is an interesting combination of flavours. I like it. I definitely like it. It's, yeah, the apricot is really holding its own against the cognac and the vermouth, but yeah, and the bitters was an interesting touch as well. Well, this is an interesting one. Again, not necessarily going to be my favourite cocktail ever, but there's sweetness from the cognac and the apricot, some dryness from the vermouth, and then the bitters as well. So it's a really interesting, it's actually quite complex, and there's a fairly good balance in there. It's a pretty good find. Like I said, inspiration. It's a funny thing, isn't it? My inspiration is, I need to empty these bottles because I need the shelf space. Of course, the terrible thing now I've emptied those bottles is, shelf space. I should go out and buy some more bottles. It's a never-ending thing. It's like any collection. I'll probably replace those with some locals rather than a foreign cognac. I'll probably get a local brandy, and I do have a local apricot liqueur. Because when you buy local, you're not an alcoholic, you're supporting small business. Just saying. And with those words of wisdom, I'm going to bid you farewell. Hey, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, it'd be great if you did subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when I upload. Do the thumbs up to show appreciation. That would be much appreciated by me. But in the meantime, I'm going to bid you farewell. Until I see you again, I hope you take care. Take care of yourself. Take care of people around you as well. And until I do see you again, cheers.